In your opinion, Mr. Smith, what is the appropriate role of government in fossil energy research and development? And let me be specific. In other words, what is the right balance of investments between applied energy research versus the demonstration and commercialization of energy technologies for fossil energy? That's kind of a two-part question. I mean, let me restate it. In your opinion, what is the appropriate role of government in fossil energy research and development? I'll let you take that one first.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And that's a big question. I mean, that's the basis of our entire budget. So the role of my program is to develop those clean energy technologies that are going to ensure that all forms of domestic energy are relevant in the economy of the future. The Department of Energy is a technological organization. That's what we do. We develop technologies from wind to solar to enhanced geothermal to biofuels to nuclear. An important part of all of our goals, be it innovation, job creation, energy security, reducing greenhouse gas emissions, is to ensure that all forms of domestic energy remain relevant. And so the core of our program is carbon capture and sequestration technologies, ensuring that those technologies move forward so that all forms of energy are reliable and part of the future for us.
Well, let me say this: when you're focusing on, and as you know, in my district, Port Arthur, Texas, with Air Products, the project that you and I were able to be there for the groundbreaking on, a very good project, a lot of carbon sequestration captured, and you know, just the success of the project. Do you remember? Was that $460 million?
Of that order.
So somewhere in that area, and they've captured, I think, according to your statement, up to 3 million tons now of CO2?
3 million tons for that project.
What does that cost per ton if you divide that out?
We'd have to do the math on that, Mr. Chairman.
460 million divided by 3 million tons.
Right.
That's a lot of millions of dollars per ton, okay? It seems to me like what's happening is when you go to focusing on carbon CO2 capture, that it's kind of like closing the barn door once the cow gets out, because that's on the back end of the energy chain, so to speak. You know, you're using fossil fuel energy, which, as we noted earlier, is 80% of the world's energy consumption, or energy usage rather. And I think they're saying probably still as much as 40% by 2050. So when you focus on the back end of fossil fuel energy, doesn't that take your focus away from innovation and technology on the front end?
Well, I'm not sure I agree with that characterization, Mr. Chairman. The important thing that we have to work on, and I agree with some of the statements that you made in your opening statement about the importance of innovating, the importance of early stage technology, the importance of pushing the envelope in that way. And also agree very strongly with some things that the ranking member mentioned in his technology, that the challenge of these projects is not the technology per se, but it's some of the commercial issues around pushing forward, improving these technologies and doing the demonstrations in an environment in which it's free for companies to emit as much CO2 as they want to in the environment. You don't have to pay for that. So there's not a way for companies to capture the very strong positive externalities that you get from capturing that CO2. Therefore, we have to work with the industry to make sure that we're doing demonstrations like the one we've done in your district that you and I got to do the groundbreaking on. It's important to show and demonstrate that those technologies are available, that they work, that you get real projects built, so that coal and natural gas can continue to be part of our energy mix.
But in all fairness, Mr. Smith, when you look at that project, $460 million, 60% of it was paid for by the American Reinvestment Recovery Act, if I remember.
Indeed.
So I don't know what that math is, but and it was a great project and a great plan in our district and led to a lot of jobs. But realistically speaking, DOE, in my opinion, your focus needs to be on improving that energy efficiency, not on capturing what's considered by some to be on the back end, you know, an undesirable energy, a fuel. And so when you focus on capturing the emissions, if you will, on the backside, you're reducing your ability to actually focus on innovating on the front end. And no project, I mean, I don't think any project can be built with 100% free market business money because when the government provided 60% of that money to that project, of course it could be built, but I don't think you can duplicate that.
Well, again, Mr. Chairman, in this current market, that's necessary because it's free to emit as much carbon pollution to the environment as you want to. I mean, the optimal thing for a company to do is to run their plant and just put that pollution into the environment because it doesn't cost anything.
Well, and now I'm going to respectfully disagree, and I'm running over here because we live in our districts. I represent the Gulf Coast of Texas, 5 ports, more than any other member of Congress. 60% of the nation's jet fuel is produced in our district. It's 20%, almost 20% of the nation's gasoline east of the Rockies, so a lot of energy production. Right. And those of us who live and work there, we want clean air for our kids, and clean air and clean water. We just do. And those industries do too, and the communities do too, and they strive to be as clean as possible. But we could go on for a long time here, and I appreciate you being here, and I'm way over my time, so I'm going to yield now for questions to the ranking